Later this afternoon, the Detroit Lions are getting set to play against the Green Bay Packers. But just before they left for their game, they just got some free bulletin board material from an insolent Green Bay Packer. We're going to talk about it, so stay tuned.
What are we? What makes us what we are and what we're going to be? It's grit. It's what we started with last year, guys. Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and three toes. I will beat your ass.
Can definitely compete with the big dogs.
10-5 end zone touchdown Detroit Lions.
You guys are unbelievable, man. I'm telling you.
We are driven by Detroit.
Hello, Detroit Lions friends and family members. Welcome on back to yet another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. I'm your host, David T. Pike. And as always, we're diving on in. My friends, for today's episode, which is obviously a game day episode, we're going to be talking about the Green Bay Packers, quite obviously. But we're going to be talking about it in a very, very concentrated, kind of sample size. Because we're going to be talking about an individual Packer who decided that it would be a good idea just before the game was to commence to start, talking some smack, to start, giving free bulletin board material out. Now, what exactly am I referring to? What I'm referring to is that I think it was either the day before yesterday or yesterday. It could have been one or the other. I can't remember exactly. But the Green Bay Packers right now, they have this safety by the name of Xavier McKinney, who's just absolutely, for lack of a better term, having a phenomenal year as a safety. He leads the NFL in interceptions. He has 6 of them. So, yeah, he's definitely doing his job very well. However, though, he decided that he was going to talk about the Detroit Lions, and I don't know if it was a question that prompted this answer. I don't know specifically what was the reason he gave this answer, but he was asked about the Detroit Lions, and it was in relation to how the Lions offense has been, scoring, how they've been doing so well, and pretty much what the answer was, as they would say, free bulletin board material. This was definitely free bulletin board material. What he specifically said was this. He said, in my opinion, I think they try to embarrass people. And I think this organization, he specifically talked about his, and the players we have in here, they don't really take that lightly. We know that's what they're going to come here and try to do. Okay, here. So within that first statement there, because there's a second one that comes later, what he's pretty much saying is that the Lions, what we try to do as a team, as an organization, is we try to go out and play games, and we're trying to embarrass people. That we are trying to deliberately make them look bad by just running up the score. Okay, here. Here's where I have a problem with that. Here's how I know that this dude does not pay attention. And this is how I know that this is just coming from a rival's perspective, because he's just talking out of his ass. Like, quite frankly, that's what he's doing. He says that we are trying to embarrass people by, in essence, running up the score. Okay, here. Let's keep this in perspective. Yes, when we played the Tennessee Titans, we definitely had a much larger margin of victory in comparison to most other teams. Same thing when we played the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, here. Remind me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there a point during the game where the Tennessee Titans actually were tied with us 14-14? I believe that was in the first quarter. And then, also remind me, didn't we at some point actually put our backups in throughout the entirety of the fourth quarter? I mean, our entire offensive, backup unit came in. So you're trying to tell me that we are deliberately trying to embarrass teams, but yet there was a point during said game against the Titans where it was actually tied at the end of the first quarter, and then when we got to the beginning of the fourth quarter, we specifically pulled our starters and put our backups in on offense. But yet somehow we're trying to embarrass teams. Now, I know that probably from Xavier's perspective, what he's going to try and say is, well, you guys were up 30-something to whatever, and you guys were still running all these damn trick plays. Okay. Here's how I know that, once again, this guy is just, he's just making excuses. He's trying to get into his feels. He's upset. He's trying to come up with some sort of an excuse or reason as to why he doesn't like that. Because, correct me if I'm wrong here, but this is the NFL last I checked. This is a professional football league. Which, okay, there's no mercy rule in the NFL. Pretty much it means you score until the damn end of the game. That's the nature of the game. That's the name of the game. Your name of the game is to win the game. So, okay here, for the offense, that means you're trying to go out every drive and you're trying to score points. So that way you can widen the margin of victory. For the defense, it's the exact opposite. You are trying to stop opposing offense from scoring. So here's why I find this rather, childish, immature, and, like I said, insolent. Because this is the NFL, like I just said. This is not freaking high school football. There is no mercy rule in the NFL. Your job as a defense is to stop the opposing offense. That's your job. If you don't want us running up the score, then you got one simple thing you got to do. You have to stop us. That's your job. That's what you're getting paid millions of dollars to do. So if you can't stop us, whose fault is that on? Is it on us because we're able to do our job and you're not doing yours? Are we supposed to play down to your level because you can't play up to ours? That's what I'm saying. This is just absolutely ludicrous. This guy's trying to get into his feels and trying to cop an attitude because, they're just embarrassing people. If you don't want to be embarrassed, how about you freaking grow a backbone and actually stop us and actually give us a challenge? It's that damn simple. Because, that's right, wait a minute here. We just played the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota, and they actually put up a pretty good game against us. We only won by 2 points. We won 31-29. I don't remember everybody saying anything about that game. Everybody wanted to talk about how the Cowboys were some great team, and it's like, hey, we went in there and we wrecked their crap. Nobody was talking about how the Lions ran up the score on them. What they were talking about was the fact that the Cowboys looked like a freaking fraud of a team. They weren't able to do anything. So again, we're getting into a situation here where somebody is just wanting to cry out and just get into his feels about something, get into his feelings about, I don't think that's fair. I think that that's being embarrassing to another team. I don't think that you're being a professional there. No, you're not being a professional by understanding that since this is a professional league, it is your job that you're being paid to do to stop us, and it's our job being paid to do to score points. That is the nature of how the damn game works. But not only did Xavier McKinney decide to go down that route, he then wanted to go even further. Because he then followed up that statement with a second statement. His second statement was this. He said, me personally, I'm not a big fan of that. And he's talking about trying to embarrass people because he then says, trying to embarrass someone. I don't really respect that. It is what it is. Okay, here. So not only does this guy think that we're trying to embarrass people, but then on top of that, he says that he doesn't respect us because he's not a fan of trying to embarrass people. Okay, I'm not going to necessarily disparage about his opinion on whether or not he likes to embarrass people or not. That's whatever, that's his opinion. But to say you're not going to respect us because you think we're trying to embarrass people is once again, this guy being an ass. Because again, if we truly wanted to embarrass people, for sure as hell we could. We could have embarrassed the ever-living hell out of the freaking Cowboys more so than what we did. We didn't. We could have sure as hell embarrassed the Titans way more than what we did. But we didn't. That's what I'm trying to get across here, is that this guy thinks that we're trying to embarrass people, and it's like, no, dude. We held back. We didn't actually go full tilt on these teams. We held back. And you're trying to say that we're deliberately trying to embarrass people on national television. It's like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're just wanting to act like you know something about the situation here when you don't really know crap. You're wanting to try and tell me and try and tell everybody else that somehow you think that we're embarrassing people because, we won 47-9, we won 52-14. But it's like, dude, if you actually step back for half a second, you could have realized that, Both of those games, we could have gotten into not only the 50 range with the Cowboys, but maybe the 60 range, the 70 range with the Titans. We could have made it so damn laughably embarrassing on those franchises that, yeah, now you could actually say that. Both times the Lions held back. Both times the Lions actually took their foot off the gas and said, okay, we've made our point well enough here. We've already established dominance over said teams. We're going to win this game. But see, here's what about this also bugs me. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but if we go back to last year, I seem to recall a game we played. What was it? It was one of the night games. I think it was either Sunday night or Monday Night Football. I don't remember. But it was the game against the Broncos. Y'all remember that game? We literally absolutely spanked the ever-living hell out of the Broncos. And it was in the fourth quarter. Goff was still in the game, and we threw a touchdown in the back of the end zone to, I think it was, what was it? I think it was to one of our tackles. Because it was just a, kind of like a trick play, whatever. It was a tackle, it was a tackle-eligible play, and we ran it. Goff threw the touchdown, that was it. And then afterwards, it was against the Broncos, so here's the thing. Here's where this got kind of interesting, is because the Broncos head coach is Sean Payton, who was, oh, that's right, that was Dan Campbell's mentor. He worked under Sean Payton both as a player and as a coach when he was with Dallas and also with the New Orleans Saints. So it's like, wait a minute here. They asked Sean Payton after the game if he felt that his ex-mentor, Dan Campbell, was trying to embarrass him by running up the score. He's like, absolutely not. He said the exact same thing that I just said. It's the name of the game. Our job is to stop them from scoring. Their job is to score. So let me get this straight here, Xavier. You're wanting to get your freaking panties in a twist. You're wanting to get your knickers all the way up to your you-know-what because, oh, you don't like the fact that we supposedly embarrass people when we haven't embarrassed anyone yet. Nowhere near to the degree we could have, if we want to be honest here. But yet a guy that quite literally has been coaching the game longer than you've been alive has the right perspective. Hey, it's their job to score points. It's our job to stop them. If we can't do that, then that's on us. It's not on them. If they decide that they're not going to score points by putting in backups, then that is them playing down to our level, not the other way around. So again, if you truly have a problem, Xavier, address that with yourself, but sure as hell don't make excuses and start pointing the finger at other people because, oh, well, we can't play up to their level. That's what you're doing, is you're making excuses. You're trying to justify, oh, well, if we get beat and they decide to do that, they're just trying to embarrass us. And I'm not saying that's what's going to happen today. But if it does happen, you've already now conveniently made an excuse. Stop making excuses. Man the hell up and understand that it's your job to try and stop us. If you can't do that, then you're not playing up to the level to be able to stop us. It's as simple as freaking that. Grow the hell up. You're getting paid millions of dollars to do this sport. You do not have the right to make excuses and say, oh, well, they're trying to embarrass people. No, we're not. If we truly wanted to embarrass people, we sure as hell could. We have the best offense in football right now. If we wanted to really embarrass people, we could. And everybody damn well knows it. But anyway, I've said my piece on this. I'm going to end this episode and say thank you all for watching another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. If you like what you saw, by all means, I highly encourage y'all to watch the next episode. I also will be streaming the game later today, so please tune in for that. I also want to encourage y'all, please, if you subscribed in the past and you had not done so at the time and you wish to do so now, make sure you also not only subscribe, but hit that bell notification icon at the bottom of the page. Also want to encourage y'all to share this content with your Lions friends and family members. Share it on Twitter, share it on YouTube, share it on Facebook, share anywhere and everywhere you possibly can, because the more we can do that, the greater the channel can grow and spread. And with that being said, whether this is your first time viewing me or you guys have been a long time viewer, I hope you all enjoyed the content. I hope you all got something out of it. And I also hope that everybody has something in their life that makes them happy, makes them smile. God bless, my friends. I hope you all enjoy the game today. I hope you all have enjoyed the content. And until the next time we see each other later today and the next time we see each other in another episode, I'll talk to you all in the next time. God bless, my friends.